on my computer. Okay, so welcome to the Piyo informational session. Thank you guys so much for hopping on. I know there's Laura, Christine, and Cassie. Thank you guys so much. I hope it was pretty easy to log in. And if you're calling in, you can absolutely do it. I will record it. Right now, you'll really only be able to see me, which is fine. But we'll just go with that. So first and foremost, I am just super excited to meet each and every one of you. My name is Katy Meuer. I know my last name looks like Meuer, and it's really fine if you never pronounce it right. That won't offend me whatsoever. But I am a Live Master Trainer. I do live in Denver, Colorado. However, when I started as a Master Trainer, I lived in Madison, Wisconsin. So I spent a good 4 years as a Master Trainer in Wisconsin, and I always say it's my roots. It's how I became a top 5 Master Trainer in 2013. But I moved to Minneapolis, and now I'm in Colorado. So you are on the call today with me. I am an experienced Master Trainer, but I say that along with I learn something new every day. I'm just like you guys. I teach classes, and I try to do my best to make sure that you have everything you need to be able to teach not just a great Piyo class, but to teach one where you feel confident and strong that you know the guidelines of Piyo, but you still get to bring your personality and you still get to bring your style, because that's super important to me. I really need people to feel like that aspect is part of it. So I say that I learn something new every day because every time I teach, I get better. So first and foremost, when you come on Saturday or Sunday, because yes, there are 2 events going on this weekend for me, which makes my weekend more exciting. But Saturday at 10 a.m., I will be in Lakewood, Colorado. Yes, the event starts at 10 a.m. I know the website says 11 a.m. It's a big mishap, but I will see you at 10 a.m. on Saturday. And then that night, I'm actually flying to Milwaukee, and I will be in Brookfield on Sunday, 9 a.m. start time in Brookfield, Wisconsin at Experience Fitness. So I'm super excited. It makes my job really fun. I mean, flying is never really something that I love to do. I got to be honest about it, but it's definitely worth it for me. So when you come on Saturday or Sunday, all I want you to know is you will get better every single moment after that. And that is truly my intention as a Master Trainer, because we will go through a lot. And I'll go over the day, sort of give you an outline of what the day looks like in a second. But no matter what, all I want you to know is that I get better every class I teach. And I know you will get better every class you teach. So we're going to start all on the same page, which is great, because everybody, whether they have teaching experience of 20 years, 5 years, 1 year, 1 class, or 0 teaching experience, all of us are going to be brand new to Piyo. And that's really exciting to me, because one, if I mess up in the master class, you might not know. So I love you newbies. And if I do mess up in the master class or I can't remember a move, sometimes the vets who take Piyo class are like, oh, I know the next move, and they help me out too. So everybody's background is going to be helpful, number 1. But number 2, every class I teach, I get better. And I sincerely and truly mean that. And the best group exercise instructors believe in that 110%. Every class, you will get better. I'm never perfect. I will never be 100% perfect when I teach a class. However, I can still deliver an incredible class with all the mistakes and being exactly who I am. And so that is my inspiration for you. So going into that, know that you will get better no matter what. So generally speaking, the day looks like this, because I know that's everyone's like big question. Okay, we get there, and then what do we do? Because I know that's exactly what I would be thinking. I'd be like, well, I just want to know, like, what do I need to bring? What do I not need to bring? Like lunch, logistics, how does it go? So you're going to come to the Piyo training. You will check in with me. I will give you your Piyo lesson that we will be learning that day. And then we will just welcome it. We start to talk about logistics. We'll also talk about the day one more time. We'll talk about what is Piyo, how did it evolve into this crazy, cool, strength-based workout that's done barefoot on a mat, where you're working strength while you build flexibility and while you work on your balance. It's a crazy awesome workout. I love it, love it, love it, love it. And it's only going to make every other workout you do better. And you can't say that about a lot of formats out there, especially in the group exercise world. So first and foremost, we'll just kind of lay out the guidelines of what to expect that day, what to expect with your certification, who I am, get kind of acquainted. And then about 45 minutes into it, or an hour into it, we'll go over form and technique of the signature moves that you'll see in Piyo for that very lesson. And then we actually go right into the class. So we don't sit very long. I should already set that expectation. You're going to be moving. You're definitely going to want to bring your own mat. If you need a towel, bring water, snacks, lunch, all that stuff to keep yourself energized. You can always get up and go to the bathroom if you need to. I always get the question if you're nursing with, moms and stuff, email me separately, but you can always take breaks and just ask your partner, standing next to you, hey, did I miss anything really important? Is there anything at the end of the training that I need to go over with Katy? I'm totally cool with that. I don't want you to miss anything, obviously, but I don't want you feeling like you can only go to the bathroom one time the entire day because I want you drinking water, right? So it's just, I'll be okay doing that. So then we'll do the master class. Right after the master class, we'll talk for about 15, 20 minutes or so. We're just going to go back through what is the format of Piyo? What do my choreography notes look like? How do I, try to understand my choreography notes? So you don't have to worry about any of this, but it'll make sense on Sunday once you get your lesson. We'll just go through the sections of Piyo, how to read your choreography notes. We'll go through the warm-up specifically because you'll be working with that in the afternoon. And then we'll talk a little bit about Pro Team. A lot of people's main questions are always, okay, once I get certified though, how do I get new material? How do I get new music? How does this all work? We have an auto ship program called Pro Team. You don't have to worry about it right now, but I will tell you that if there is even 1% chance that you're going to teach this class, you're going to want to sign up for Pro Team because it's not only a way to guarantee that you're on the cutting edge of fitness with Piyo, but Beachbody does all the marketing for you. You automatically get sent the rounds. You don't have to put it on your to-do list to order new rounds. You will always have fresh new music. You will have twice as many options for classes because if you sign up for Pro Team, you get a special present that day. And I'll leave the suspense. I'll let you think about the suspense all 2 or 3 days until I see you. But we'll talk a little bit about Pro Team and how to, when you want new choreography or you want new music or you want to switch up a power section or the certain sections in Piyo, we will talk about that after class because it won't make sense if you haven't taken Piyo or you're still trying to figure out Piyo from an instructor perspective. You're not going to be able to understand that unless we actually do the class, because I will be able to talk to you about a power section and now you're going to be able to understand the difference between power and flow versus if you just look at it on a piece of paper. So that's the whole idea behind waiting for the format and how it's set up until after classes, because you'll have a real live experience with it. So you'll be able to kind of follow along when we look at the choreography notes. And then we'll take a really short lunch break. Typically, I always ask if people want, the full 45 minutes. Typically, most people bring lunches and say, no, can we do it in a half an hour and just get started? It'll be totally up to you on your Piyo day. I let people decide that. I'm totally cool with 45 and I'm cool with 30 minutes. My job that day is to do what you guys need. So you let me know when we get there. We'll kind of make a group decision on that. But most people bring lunches in my experience. Some people like to be able to go and get something if they know the area really well. But specifically with these two gyms, I don't teach at both of them. I've been to both of them, but I don't know them like the back of my hand. So I can't rattle off lunch places for you right now. I always say bring food because you never know. And I'm the kind of person, even if I pack a lunch, but I end up going out to lunch, I can use that lunch the next day or, on my snack on my way home or something like that. Cause it is a full day and you got to eat, you got to have water. So we'll make sure that at that half an hour you can change clothes. That's typically when I change clothes, if you're wondering, because you do the full workout and Piyo makes you sweat. It's like any other strength workout you've never done before. It's mind body, but it's because your mind has to be focused when you're working your body in this class because there's balance and strength. And it's crazy fun. But anyway, side note, I will be changing my clothes on because I do sweat in Piyo. You do not have to. Maybe you're one of the fortunate people in this world like my sister. I have an older sister and we work out together and I'm dripping and she has like a dab of dab of like little perspiration on her forehead. And I can't understand how we are genetically related because we're like two different people. But anyway, maybe you're blessed like she is and you don't have to. Like I said, I'm just letting you know, laying it all out there. If that was too much information, I apologize, but I'm a pretty open person. So we'll come back from lunch, and this is my favorite part of the day. So yes, I love the beginning, but lunch is really where I feel like I get to know you guys better. And it's also where I feel like I get to have more one-on-one time with you. I get to talk to you about music. I will talk to you about the 32 count. If you're like, why does she say 32 count and don't even know what that means? Don't worry about it. That's why you're coming to the training. I got to teach you something, right? And if you do know the 32 count, I love it because you guys are going to be able to help people feel the beat. You'll also be able to help with group work when we teach, because right after that, we go in and we're going to teach the warm-up together. And when I say together, you're going to be in groups of 3 or 4, and we're all just going to build. We're going to teach the first part of the warm-up, then we're going to turn off the music, and we're going to like share. Then we're going to teach the second part of the warm-up. We're going to come back all together, share what we learned. We'll teach the third part. Like, we just build it. It's step by step. And I call them hiccups. And I mean this in a very sincere, genuine way. I've made 1,001 hiccups when I learned Piyo choreography. But I have to do it alone, usually in my room or in the living room or in a basement, or I'm in my car listening to the music. And it's not that much fun alone. But we get to do it together. And I know how I learn choreography. And I will share you every single tip that I have to help you learn the choreography as fast as possible. But you might not be the visual learner that I am, or I have to write down my own notes. Like, I've always been a kinesthetic learner. Like, I have to do that. Some people just have to take the class once and they know it. Some people, I have a master trainer friend who they literally just watch the preview and they can do it. I can't do that. I got to watch the class. That's just me. That's who I am. So I know how I learn it because I've been teaching since lesson 9 and we're on 38 this weekend. So I've had about 30 rounds to practice how I learn Piyo. So I will share all my tips and tricks. I promise you, you won't walk away not knowing every single thing that I know to help you teach this class as fast as possible. I'll give you everything. But in that part where we team teach, it's really important that you just share like aha moments, or when things all of a sudden clicked and you're like, oh my gosh, I just figured out how I'm going to remember this. You got to share it, because you might just help someone fast track, or I call it, they're going to go past go and collect $200 faster. And that's my goal. If I can set you up for success with Piyo so that at the end of the day, you get to miss all my mistakes and move forward, so that you can start teaching heat building, so that you can start teaching flow and all the other sections, that's the ultimate goal. So when we team teach, don't feel pressured. This is like, we're going to roll up our sleeves and we're all learning Piyo together. None of us have ever taught it. And we're moving forward in learning the warm-up. We're going to learn the warm-up. We'll come back together. And then we're going to we're going to do another section together so that you can really solidify not just the 32 count and cueing, but so you can solidify, okay, this is how I read the choreography notes. Oh, you know what? When I go home, I really want to work on the 32 count. When I go home, I want to do the entire DVD workout to build up muscle memory. When I go home, I just want to watch the preview. I want to take down my own notes for choreography. You'll get your own set of choreography notes in your lesson. You will with every single Piyo lesson you ever get. However, you guys will also see the notes that I make so that I can learn it, and so you might be one of those people. So the team teaching part is not something to stress about. I promise. I make it a very fun, it's a very safe environment, and it really is my favorite part. I mean, that's where I feel like I'm actually giving you guys the tools, the tricks, the tips, everything that's like, you're going to take it in, process it, and then you're going to decide, okay, is this going to help me learn this faster or not? And then you move forward, because after the group teaching, we come back together and we're going to talk about next steps. We'll maybe briefly talk about if you want to sign up for Pro Team. If you don't, you also have the opportunity to sign up for Pro Team at lunch. And again, I'll explain all of that on Saturday and Sunday, so you don't have to worry about logistics now. You can always go to piyolive.com and look at Pro Team and just look what it's all about if you're like anxious to kind of figure this out. If you do decide that Pro Team is something you want to do, I will just give you a heads up that on the day of your training, to sign up for it, you do need a credit card. I always bring my computer and I always bring my iPhone. So you can always sign up on one of those. But if you feel more comfortable signing up on your own smartphone, you can do that as well. Again, don't stress about this. I just give people a heads up because I've gone to trainings where I didn't tell people that. And then they came and they're like, well, if I just would have known, I would have brought A, B, C, D, E, F. So long story short, at the end of the day, we're going to wrap up. We're going to talk about Pro Team. If you still want to sign up, you can. I'll give you your free gift for signing up for Pro Team. And then after that, it's all about, does anyone else have any questions? Whether or not our training ends when it's supposed to, either at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, depending on when your day starts, I am always there until the end of the day. Meaning, if we are supposed to end at 5 o'clock and we end at 4:30, we end at 4, we end at 3:45, I will still be there till 4. I don't want anyone walking away thinking, I don't know my next step in teaching. And so that's why I say that part for the very end of the day is I want to make sure we all go over it. We make sure we know where we're going to go, because you guys get me only for one day. I know it's super short and sweet, and I wish I could, be there for your first classes and things like that, but I can't. And ultimately, you're the one that's going to have to go out and learn this on your own, figure out, how you're going to learn it best. And then eventually you got to take the leap of faith and just go teach. And I know that's scary because I know how scary it was for me to teach my first class, but you have to know you already have your biggest fan behind you, and that's me. I know that everyone can teach this class. I've done 1,000,001 Piyo trainings. Like I said, I was trained personally on lesson 9, and I've been leading certification since lesson 13, if you can believe it. It's crazy. So I will do everything in my power to make sure you know your next steps. Lastly, before we end, because I know it's 8:17 or 7:17, depending on where you're at, and I said this would be 15 minutes. That's another thing. I talk longer than I should. I know, I'm working on it. The last thing I will say is everyone wonders about the Piyo manual. Do I have to study it? Do I have to know it? Do I have to take a written test? Number one, I want you to take a big deep breath. Let your shoulders drop. There's no longer a written exam. Testing will be going on all day, but it's more of, are you improving all day? If you walked in and you didn't know the 32 count, by the end of the day, can you feel it and snap your fingers to it? That's improving. Let's say you walked in and you looked at all this stuff with Piyo and you're like, there's no way I can teach this warm-up. You walk away teaching the warm-up, that's improvement. I just want to know that at the end of the day, you feel like you're moving forward with teaching Piyo. That's my goal. So there's no official test. I won't pass out papers or anything like that, but I am walking around all day, and especially in the group teaching, that's when I'm going to be very hands-on, walk around, answer all the questions, make sure that people feel confident in teaching this class. So the Piyo manual, it is an incredible resource. I still have mine printed out, and sometimes I use it. It has every single Piyo move broken down into what the move is, any variation you might see it, but how to set up the move, cues to give the people for that move, and also what to look for form and technique. So it's an incredible, incredible resource, and I think you should have it in a way that you can follow along if you want to, meaning if you have a tablet and you want to just download it on that, you can do that. You can bring your computer. You can also print it out. I'm very tangible. I print mine out. You do not have to do that. Some people like a resource on their tablet so they can always open it up. They could even open it up at the end of class if you use your iPad for music. Totally your call. I'm going to let you know if you need the manual. I'm going to be sending that in my what to expect email that you'll get right after this call, actually. But just know that the manual is an incredible resource. I want you to have it. I want you to use it. But the most important thing we can do that day is movement. Piyo is so movement oriented. And what I need you to walk away with is knowing what Piyo feels like and how to teach the warm-up. You can always refer to the manual and you can always go back and read it. And I strongly encourage that. But I can't get any time back in teaching you how to teach the warm-up. So that's why it's very movement focused. So make sure you come, be ready to learn, be ready to soak it up. You are in great hands. I promise you, I will do everything I can to make sure that you walk away with all the tools you need to teach Piyo, not just so that it's within the format guidelines, but so that you feel confident that you still get to be you and that you get to teach and kind of customize Piyo to your class and the people you'll be teaching it to. But more than anything, if you get the Piyo manual, great. If you can't really download it, but you're still looking through it, I'll resend the link and things like that. But you guys are in great hands. I promise. I'll do everything in my power to make sure it's a fantastic day, that it flies by, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea we were just here for like 6 to 8 hours, And now I'm walking away feeling like I'm ready to go teach this thing. So I am going to unmute everyone's lines. That's all I have. So if you feel like, all right, great, I'll just wait for your email. I'll see you on Saturday or Sunday. That's awesome if you have questions. If anyone has questions, feel free to ask.
I have a question.
Yeah.
On that credit card thing you mentioned, is that where, like, we would type the number on our card into your computer, or do you have a slidey thing on there? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yes. So the slidey thing is like a square. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. So unfortunately, no, it's not a slidey thing. It's like if you wanted to use my computer, it'd be like if you were going to go on eBay and buy shoes or something. You can do it on my computer and enter in your credit card information, but I just want people to know you can use your own smartphone and your own computer. You're welcome to use mine, but I know that people have they just have their own way or their own feeling about putting their credit card on someone else's iPhone or computer. So you just need to bring the credit card number, the CVV, the shipping address or the billing address. You can write it down because you're just going to be entering it in, but I just give you the heads up that if you don't have a smartphone and you don't feel comfortable using my computer, that's the only way I can sign you up for Protein.
But it'd just be like if we were on our own computer typing into the website.
Yes, correct. Mm-hmm.
Yep. While we're there, there's a free gift. Is that what you said?
Yes. So when you sign up for Pro Team on the day of your training, you get a free gift, which is actually a bonus Piyo lesson. So essentially you're going to walk away with 2 sets of music, 2 sets of choreography, and that's not meant to scare you. That's just meant for, if you start teaching and all you want to do is change out section for section, or you love everything about 38, you just want a new flow section. You have the opportunity to like swap a section for section so that you don't feel like, oh my gosh, I have to learn an entire new Piyo lesson in order to teach, kind of mix and match it so that it fits your style and your personality.
And then are we like officially certified at the end of the day, or is there, that's something that happens?
No, that's a great question. So yes, at the end of the day, you are certified unless you receive an email from me that night that says I need to see a little bit more choreography or a little bit more form and technique. Now, I will let you know that that has never happened yet, but I do let people know that ahead of time. But at the end of the day, unless I feel like you are physically going to hurt someone by teaching this class, more than likely you will pass, because I do think that Piyo is something that I get better at every time I teach it. I know that for a fact that I get better, so I want you to have that opportunity. But that means that at the end of the day, you can go and teach it. So if you have a class starting next Monday, next Tuesday, or in a week, you can absolutely go out and say you've been trained as a Piyo Live instructor, and within 7 to 10 business days, Beachbody Live will email you your certificate.
And do we memorize everything, or is it more learning?
Oh my God.
The memorization comes later after you do it for a while.
No, that's a great question too. So yes, eventually you do memorize it because you'll be given choreography and you'll also be given a DVD with all the with the live class, and then also a preview section where Michelle Park goes over every single individual Piyo move in the lesson to help you teach it better. However, that day of training, I realized you just got this choreography, and that when we're group teaching, there's choreography notes that you're going to pull out, and I am totally okay with you holding those choreography notes or making your own notes and using that as we teach. But eventually, yes, when you teach a live class, I would prefer you not use notes, if that makes sense.
And when you say team teach, is that like 2 people in the class teach it to the rest of the class, or what is that?
So team teaching is just you're going to get in groups of about 3 or 4, and you're all going to kind of teach to each other. So I kind of break you off into wherever you're kind of sitting, and then you guys work through the choreography together.
Okay.
So it's kind of one of those things like everyone can teach, or if there's one person in the group who's like, I know the 32 count, I can help with that. And then someone's like, okay, I'm going to do queuing. And then someone really wants to do form, or every group is different. I never put any rules or regulations on it. I just want people to know that they're kind of an introvert and they want to learn it, but they're just not quite ready to go up in front and teach to 20 people. I get it. I've been there too. So you'll see it. It's a very big learning and sharing environment, but you will still feel confident walking away being able to teach this class. Does that help?
Yeah, that does.
Okay. And what, just so I know who I'm talking to, what's your name?
Laura Neal.
Oh, hi, Laura Neal. How are you? We've been messaging back and forth. So for me, it's nice to like chat and talk and know who I'm talking to. So, go ahead.
It starts at 10.
Saturday starts at 10. I know the website says 11 a.m., but Saturday, the Lakewood Piyo, and I'll email this to all of you, so don't worry. Lakewood, Colorado starts at 10 a.m. on Saturday. I know the website says 11, but it starts at 10, and I'll email right after this. And then Brookfield, Wisconsin, starts 9 a.m. on Sunday. Anything else? All right, well, I will let you guys go. Thank you so much again from the bottom of my heart for hopping on this call. Again, just come ready to learn, soak it up, and really have fun. I promise Piyo is fun. If you've ever met Michelle Park, she's the format expert. She's just fun, and she doesn't do anything unless it's fun. I promise the day will move fast. I am your #1 fan. I want you to succeed with Piyo more than anything, and you have me, that day to ask me as many questions as you want. And then from here on out, because you have my email now, so now we're like hook, line, sinker, like we're attached. And you can email me anytime. You can set up a Zoom chat with me anytime. I am more than willing to help you be successful at teaching this class. So let me know. But other than that, I will see you on the day of your training, and I can't wait to meet you. And more importantly, just help you learn Piyo Live and go out and teach it to the rest of the world. So have a fantastic night, and I will see you either Saturday or Sunday.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.